Good morning, this is the Linked AM Morning Show. How are you this morning on this wonderful October morning? Yes, it's starting to get a bit chilly, which is good here in Texas. We've got a bit of a hot summer and it's time for us to actually have some fall weather. As you know, what we've been doing and talking over the past couple of weeks about starting the year strong. I think everybody's trying to think of, well, how am I going to make some money next year? How am I going to start my prospecting, etc. So everybody's talking about digital marketing, and who better to have on the show to talk about this but Dean Lindsay. Dean, of course, is at Sync Lab Media over in Dallas, here in my hometown. And I've got him as a guest, and I want to ask him a few questions. So, Dean, welcome to the show, and welcome to Linked AM.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, it's good to have you, man. You're looking good there. Look at that, and there's Route 66, and that's a nice little studio you got there.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, well, we try not to phone it in, even though we're phoning it in here at Sync Lab Media. But yeah, no, we're very video centric, and so yeah, if we can't figure out how to do it in a decent fashion, we love Skype. So all props to Skype for getting us connected.
Yeah, we do. We love our friends at Skype. Well, thanks a lot. Well, let's dive into this a little bit. So, digital marketing, and you got a show that you're actually hosting called Digital Marketing Today. Tell me more about that. What's that about?
Yeah. We're just getting ramped up for it. We shot the first 4 episodes. They're going to be quick, 3 to 7 minute clips, really getting people comfortable with the concept of digital marketing. We're going to be talking about what we consider to be the 3 major pillars. A lot of people talk about the second pillar when it comes to actual production, whether that's a blog or for us, we really encouraging people to really look at video, because that's really where things are headed. But it really comes down to really a solid strategy, and then consistent, persistent content production, and then support of those first 2. So what we're going to do in digital marketing today is we're going to be upbeat, we're going to be positive, we're going to be giving you insights, we're going to help you gain confidence so that you really can make the best of this powerful, dynamic, new way of getting your message to the people.
Well, I think it's right. I mean, because, I think we both have conversations with people every day. They say, okay, I've heard about this video, thing. I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be on camera because, but I know a lot about my business. Well, there's other things that people can do, isn't it? I mean, it's not all about, like you and I now, we're on camera. But it's not all about that. It's about telling the story. And what I find is entrepreneurs or business people that are passionate about their business, actually, when they get on camera, they actually tell a good story because they know their stuff and they need to share their prospects.
You touched on so many of the key words: passion and story and communicate. That's what people want, that authenticity. And what's important to do is that you're not selling, but that you are educating, entertaining, interacting with your prospects and customers in such a way that they start to know you, like you, trust you, and see you as what I call as progress. To them, it's a series of progress-based impressions to get them to where they want to do business with you and refer you. And it's interesting, the whole thing about liking and sharing. Sharing is really referring.
Yeah, it is, and I think it was funny because we did a little analysis. It was a good few years ago about what things worked for us. And, what was the things that brought us business? And when we stripped it all away, it was word of mouth. I mean, word of mouth. If somebody says, I trust this person, then that's the biggest positive thing you can have. And then somebody's going to go, well, if he did it for him, well, maybe he made a mistake on his video, but he won't make a mistake on mine. So,
Karl, you're absolutely right. If anybody ever tells you that digital marketing is more important than word of mouth referral, they're taking you on a ride, because no, you're absolutely right. Having somebody vouch for you, the work you do, the professionalism, the trustworthiness is still key. Digital marketing plays a role in helping you build that trust.
Well, it's a tactic. It's a tactic. It's a tactic, but it goes hand in glove. So if you produce something that's of relevancy to somebody that's watching it, one of the biggest things that I say is, look, think about what the pain point is of what you provide. What is your solution that solves that pain point? If you talk about that and then somebody's got that pain point, they're going to go, heck, I want to talk to that guy. So if you're able to distribute it through Facebook, LinkedIn, through all the other digital channels, then I think it's important. I mean, in terms of growing marketing, growing your business, how important is all this that we're talking about?
Digital marketing is not going away, and your competitors are aware of it and are zoning in on it. And the statistics, I mean, you don't have to spend much time Googling to get to the statistics of how many people are spending time online versus the newspaper and other types of media. And of course, I'm passionate about networking, personal face-to-face networking, wrote a book on it. So I'm not shying away from that by any means, but digital marketing is a fantastic next step. But what you need to understand is that when you do meet someone face-to-face, and they had a great interaction with you, the very next thing they're going to do now is go check you out online.
Yes.
And possibly subscribe to what you got going on YouTube or your Facebook or LinkedIn. And so you can make a lot more of the impressions that I've written about in Cracking the Networking Code. You can make those impressions without actually having to be there because of this digital marketing content. So I'm not saying you build relationships only through digital marketing. I'm really encouraging you to get face-to-face with people, start that like we did, Karl. You and I met face-to-face first time, right? Yep. And then now we're following up with a whole bunch of more progress-based impressions. But that's really the key in what we're trying to do at SyncLab Media, is that it's not just impressions. It's not just putting out more videos. It's putting together the right videos that people view you as an authority, as a catalyst for their progress, as an agent for their progress, as what I call a progress agent.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a key thing there, is that you've got to put yourself out as a subject matter expert. And I did a blog and a post out on LinkedIn a few months ago talking about how do you position yourself for the new year. And the fact is that you've got to start to brand yourself. And we did a segment earlier this week, I think, on personal branding. How do you start to personally get yourself out there and start thinking about, well, what is somebody going to look at me and say, I want to talk to that guy? So I think you're absolutely right. I think you're right. So what are the big mistakes that business owners and marketers make regarding digital marketing? And I mean, we must all make mistakes. I've made mistakes, but what are the biggest mistakes?
I think that the biggest are not being persistent and patient. Understanding that it takes, as I talked about, a series of progress-based impressions. You don't just put one video and think it's going to go viral. I went to a great conference yesterday that the head of social media for the Dallas Cowboys was doing. And he said, what we are consistent. We listen to our customers, we listen to our prospects, we listen to the fans, and we can continue to deliver good content. Some things take off, some other things don't. I think the other major thing that people do is they don't do that first pillar that we talked about, the strategy. Actually taking the time to really look at the target market, to look at themselves as subject expert. And then, Karl, the interesting thing about being a subject expert, sometimes you're a subject expert, and the first thing you've got to teach people is that they should care about the subject you're an expert in.
Yes.
And once you do that, then they go, okay, now I actually care. Because if you say if I don't see even what you're talking about as progress, then I'm not gonna, I see that as change. There's a big difference between change and progress, and so I think it's a really just kind of it's planning. It's planning. It's preparing. It's and I'm not saying you got to use SyncLab Media, but I think it's a pretty smart thing to do is to try to get some other people involved with it, and to you have expertise. Everybody who's listening to this, they have everybody has expertise. We have expertise, and it's really just another mistake people make is they minimize the importance of digital marketing and the social media and SEO, the whole internet phenomenon. Because can you do business without social media? Yes. I just don't understand why you would try, because there's so many cool, positive things that by the time people show up to actually want your products and services, they're already in. You don't have to sell them anymore. And I should say sell. You don't have to prove yourself, because they've already experienced your videos, your insights.
And also, I think one of the things that we found, and I did an actual series of discussions on making marketing a habit. Because I think a lot of people, they start it and then they don't see any results immediately. Because I think we're actually a civilization now, a culture of instant gratification.
Oh, no kidding! Drive-through.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we want to do something and then we want to have a reaction straight away. Well, guess what? It doesn't happen that way.
Very few things do.
It doesn't. And you've got to remember, I mean, my kids, they're like get frustrated if something doesn't happen right then and there, because they're used to these things, being able to activate stuff. And I think, we've got to get them into the habit, or people into the habit, of actually doing things on a regular, consistent basis. And as you say, the Progress Challenge. Look at this. I got your book here. I read it the other day.
Thanks,
there
Karl.
you go.
Thanks,
and we're going to have you back on the show to talk about some of this.
Okay,
I tell you.
I'll come back on.
But I mean, it's all about that. You've got to make that progress. You've got to have, and I like to use this thing called repetition builds reputation. I learned that in the radio business. So I think some of the things that you've just said are just absolutely spot on. So how do we find you, Dean? We're going to put stuff on the screen anyway but where's the best way to follow you on Twitter? What's your Twitter handle?
Well, it's Dean Lindsay on Twitter, but Dean at synclabmedia.com. You can go to SyncLab Media, find us on YouTube. The new show is Digital Marketing Today. Of course, thank you for showing that the copy of the book there. You got 2 books out there in the world, The Progress Challenge and also Cracking the Networking Code, 4 Steps to Priceless Business Relationships.
I think I got that one as well. Look at
Dino. That's it right there. That's it.
Look at that. You see the picture there and the picture on the screen.
Yeah,
I love it.
Proof. Man, you got your own picture on there. But no, I'm thrilled, that those books and those books really led to this opportunity. When I looked at how my business got to where it is, digital marketing was a big part of it long before I even knew something was called digital marketing. I had quality videos of me speaking and talking through the concepts from those books, and along with that, personal face-to-face networking, referrals, and then the cool stuff that happened with those books. I'm honored to say that those books have sold over 100,000 copies and been translated into Korean, Polish, Chinese, and Greek without our permission. Okay. With our permission, but Greek without our permission.
It's all Greek to me.
SyncLab Media. Man, people can even call me on the cell phone. Can I give my cell phone number? I'll give it. 214-457-5656. Call me up.
That's confidence for you. That's confidence for you.
Well, you got. Unless people start trolling you, I'm sure everybody who's watching this is quality. Call me up.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hey, Dean, I really appreciate you spending the time with me this morning. I mean, as I say, it's a really intriguing topic. I know, our viewers are really intrigued about it, and I'm sure you'll be getting some calls on your cell phone.
Yeah, here's my little thing right here. I'm waiting. Gratification.
Hey, Dean, thanks so much. I appreciate it, and we'll have you back on, and we can chat about progress.